didn't. I don't know why I thought you would know we're from the UK. I just assumed. I don't know if that's a really British thing to do. Just to assume.
Yeah, bro. Blimey, you know?
Yeah, I was gonna say I was watching one. I can't remember. It's just I've heard it a couple of times in one of your a few of your videos. Your British accent is really good.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah,
it's not mine though. It's Clark's.
It's whose?
Clark.
Clark, is this your alter ego?
No, it's the British dude who walks in, and
Is it who?
it's the British dude who walks in here, bro. He just comes here like once every 2 months.
I don't know how to follow this. Okay, cool. Well, my first thing I put down, which kind of rolls on quite nicely, to be fair, in my rather well written out notes, was humorous guitar content. I didn't actually write any questions, which sounds really disorganized of me, but I was going to say, what kind of drew you to that? Was there anything that drew you to doing that? Was it something that you kind of started as like, was there intention behind this, or was it something you just thought was kind of fun to get started with that grew from that? Or how did it kind of come about that you were drawn to doing that sort of stuff with YouTube and that?
So I saw that there was a lot of content already out that's like guitar related, gear related, and music related. And I was like, there isn't really a lot of comedy happening. And so I started doing these like silent videos, if you want, you know, like these little skits where something happens. It's like, oh, it's funny because he has an instrument. I'm not sure how funny it was, but then I started just figure out I just start talking to myself because I had no one to act with, and that's it, bro.
Yeah, man, it works. Do you say you started with like some silent kind of videos?
Yeah, if you look back at the channel, it's like I never really talked before. It was just like me doing things. It was weird, man. You'd be like, this guy's on some shit, you know?
Were you?
No, I'm on some shit now, you know, but not before.
I don't blame you. It'll make the conversation more interesting, to be fair. See where it ends up, but yeah, I mean,
not right now, but yeah.
Okay, nice. Yeah, have you seen because one that's really worldwide, or that I think is worldwide, and speaking of being British and that, do you know Mr. Bean? Bro, I love him. Does he? Yeah, because I don't know. Obviously, we know that stuff is popular over here, but I don't know how well that translates. Obviously, because it's all non-verbal, so I would assume it would, you know. We speak the same language. It's obvious, but like, you know, he's pretty worldwide. So
yeah, he is. He's pretty. Even like back in Lebanon, like he was really popular. So it's not something obscure that came out of the UK. I would say. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he's properly. Those like childhood memories. But
dude, he's hilarious.
Yeah. Are there any other like British? Another one is John Cleese. I'm not just trying to sing Britain's praises now for comedy, but I know he's another one that like crossed.
I don't know who that is.
Monty Python.
Yes, but I've never really. So when I was younger, I never watched it when I was young, so I didn't like really know. It's not something I saw when I was young, you know, not like Mr. Bean and all that stuff. Oh, no. So it's different when you watch something when you're an adult. It's just, you know.
Yeah. Any like comic inspirations for your channel in particular, or is it just kind of whatever you think is whatever kind of works for what you're doing?
It's mostly inspirations. So like, I wouldn't say some guy inspired me, but it's mostly situational inspiration that comes from movies or like real life. I'm like, oh, so if this happens in this situation, it might be funny.
Yeah.
Might be funny. That's a key word.
Just
here,
put the
bro.
feelers out and you find out.
Still experimenting what's funny, what's not.
There's a good few 100,000 people following you, so you got to be doing something funny.
Man, it's funny. I get comments every day, and they're like, "How do you have so many followers? You're not funny. This is not funny."
I'm sure I've seen you share stuff like that, where you've sort of embracing the atmosphere.
Yeah, because like these people, they don't really. Some people say that, and then a couple of days later, they're like, you know what? I'm starting to understand what's happening here. But some people come to their senses, and they're like, okay, this is bad.
Do you get many Like, because the thing that seems odd to me, I mean, I was going to say, do you get many like sort of haters? But I'm guessing with the pure numbers you have, that statistically you're going to. But it seems odd to me that anything you do would be particularly hateable. You know, do you get many like comments? I'm guessing you do get a few comments like that, right? They're kind of sort of haters on the videos.
Yeah. Like, oh, this is garbage playing. If I'm playing guitar, if I'm not playing, they'd be like, you're insufferable. Like, this is horrible. I don't want to watch this.
yeah, it's like take your pick your fight.
Yeah. I don't really get offended because, I mean, like, why would I get offended? I don't know who these people are, what their lens. Everyone is seeing something through a certain lens. Everyone has their own background, you know. I'm seeing it through my lens and I'm showing it. But not everyone is showing what their lens is, so it's hard to know why they're saying this shit they're saying. But some people are just hateful little shits, you know.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, you're not. Yeah, to be fair, you're not wrong. I think it's like I said, it seems odd to me that people bother to make the comments in the first place. It's like it's not contributing an awful lot, you know. It's not like constructive criticism. It's. I think it's kind of sad that the. I mean, do you feel like you've got a bit of a sort of maybe developed a bit of a sort of a shell that you can sort of, you don't feel the hate from the comments, or does it still kind of, do you get the odd one where you go, oh man, leave me alone? Like,
I mean, you kind of have to just disconnect yourself from it, you know. So like, your content is your content, but it's not like who you are. So whatever people say, it's like, okay, this is just content. It's not coming to me. They're just seeing this part of me, you know. But can you hear this?
Can I hear you?
No, there's something happening. Anyway. By the way, hold on. Sorry. Why do I look like there's a beautification filter on me? Look at that.
Oh, nice.
Realism, bro. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So yeah. It's a little crackly coming through, but if you're recording, it's all good.
Okay. Is it good now?
Yeah. No. It's. I can hear you fine. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
But yeah, like, do you kind of when you started out, was it like, do you remember your first sort of fuck you from the internet comment?
Yeah, a few racist ones in the beginning.
Oh really?
Like, yeah.
Oh, that kind of sucks. That's
It's like whatever. It's funny. Like as long as because the way they word things, it's creative. I can't get mad at it. Like, okay, you got me there, bro. I go back to the sand area. It's funny.
Oh,
well,
no.
what do you? Yeah, man. Like, what can you say? It's just part of the job, and you know, whatever the creators just want to do, whatever they want to do, but. Sometimes when it comes with the job, you just have to know how to overcome it and show like why you're doing what you're doing. Some people would come to their senses and they're like, okay, but you know, it has to. I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, I'm following. I admire your resilience there. I think it's yeah.
Yeah, it has to come from both sides. Like, the creator doesn't have to be like complete garbage, you know. Like, just have a little bit of merit, and also the audience just be supportive a little bit, you know. That's it.
Yeah, well, unless you're the subject of one of your videos, like myself.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was
You guys got roasted good.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, you're right. You didn't. You guys were good.
I was gonna say, like, non-roast aside, and this isn't me fishing for compliments. I was gonna ask what you thought, if you remembered. To be fair, because I didn't know. I guess you see a lot of videos.
This is a confession.
Oh really?
After roasting you guys for like the first time, maybe the second time.
Yeah.
I came back and listened to your music a couple more times, and I was like, you know what? This is fucking catchy, bro. Like, what am I gonna do about it? Just gonna listen to it.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, I think we knew we were like, because people will find anything, you know, like which they did, and you're right. People are creative. There were some, there were never any like. It's when what I did find weird is when there is this weird like threshold where you know, there's a joke in there when someone, you know, we got obviously roasted in the comments. It's the nature of the video, and then there would be the odd one where like, I know they're joking, but you know, it's like 80% joke, 20% fuck you, and it's like and they're almost the worst because it's like, can you not just be mean and I'll know where you. But there's that when it's under that like sort of guise of, oh, I'm making a joke, but this is horrible, you know. It's
almost like someone telling you, you show them a song and they're like, it's very good, I love it.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, what did you like? Well,
yeah, oh, it's okay, it's fun. It's fun, bro. What? No.
Yeah, no, I think it was it was an interesting experience. I guess it was an insight into the life of any band of any great success or size, to be fair. Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I can't remember, we got one where it was like we got a few where it was like just a shit ginger or something, you know, which is the you know, the go-to, I guess, because we have a lady singing for us, so that's the only band we sound like, apparently. But
yeah, I think wait, was that on my channel?
What, I can't want that comment.
Yeah,
I might. I think it was on one of your video. I don't think it was on our actual video. I think it was on your. Yeah, I think so.
Because I think I saw something like that, like comparing you.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, this is their lens. Like,
yeah,
if someone hasn't heard that band, they wouldn't compare you.
Mm.
And it's just like, if you show any song to any person, if they have the right background, they're like, oh, this sounds exactly like this, but that doesn't take away from what the music is, you know?
Yeah.
When I roast stuff, I'm like, oh, this is shit we've heard before, but I'm not saying it because things that are familiar are bad. It's because it's just like, there's absolutely nothing that's trying to be different, you know? That's nothing progressing.
Yeah.
Like, if they release an iPhone that's the same as last year, which they're gonna do, you know?
It's weird they've been doing that for the last 10 years, but it's somehow still a bit different now.
I mean, there are improvements, but I'm using an iPhone 8, you know? And like, I hold a 13 Pro and I'm like, okay, this camera's insane. I love it and shit. But that's what should kind of happen with music, is my opinion. Like, it's not technology, it's art, but at the same time, there has to be something evolving to it, even if the evolving is devolving.
Oh,
like, you know how
that's
fashion,
very meta.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know how fashion is like, the 80s look is kind of in now, you know, with all the colors and the shoes and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about fashion. As you can tell, I'm wearing a black shirt.
I could. So if I told you actually the 90s look, and you'd be like, well, yeah, the 90s look, yeah, okay, obviously.
I mean, yeah, right, but I just remember my dad in the 90s. I was born in the 90s, you know.
Yeah.
How old are you?
I'm 24. So
I was going to say 24. Yeah.
Wait, how old are you?
27.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I didn't know. So you're a millennial, and I'm a Gen Z.
I wouldn't say you're a Gen Z. Maybe 22 and under.
Huh?
22 and under would be Gen Z.
You sure?
You're born 2000. Yeah.
No. What? I was born in 2000. I'm 24.
You're trying to mess with. It's 2022 right now, bro. I'm not an idiot.
I know COVID's done stuff to the years, but this is.
I'm not on anything right now, bro. But if I was, this would have worked on me. Bro, there's a lemon pit in my water.
That sounds like the worst part of putting lemon in your water.
That sounds like hell, yeah. It's disgusting.
I was about to ask you what your take on modern metal is, but then we started talking about lemon pits in water. So, you choose the alley we go down. This is up to you.
Let's go your alley, bro.
Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, what is your take on speaking particularly, like, okay, so obviously a lot of bands. And I'm like, obviously I'm in a band myself, and I'm not. I actually wouldn't sort of necessarily say we're not in this category in some ways, but a lot of bands do sound quite similar nowadays. And do you think, like, how do you think you move out of that? Maybe like get away from being so much like the rest.
So I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been listening to a lot of modern metal, almost like none. So I'm kind of out of the loop, especially since like 2017, 2018. But I feel like the only time I feel like a band gets out of that, like purgatory area where it's like they're trying to just be someone else or just trying to imitate a sound that exists a lot, is when there's kind of like a mixture happening, like in the styles, either this or they're doing what they're doing really, really well,
Yeah, I think I think I personally I like the way I kind of try and do it is do what I enjoy really well. I'm not one that leans towards trying to find the new sounds. Like if you give me the options, I'll pick up a guitar and an amp and like a tuner pedal. That is pretty much what I play with live. Like I like to just get the sound from my head to the thing without any of these. And it's when you talk about effects or like processing and production tricks and stuff, I think it's all cool and like. But I think sometimes maybe those ideas, especially with modern production, some of those ideas get in the way of the actual compositional ideas that really should be. And we learned that when we first went to the studio. It's like our producer immediately pointed some things out. We're like, oh, okay, yeah, we should change that. Where it wasn't, to be fair, we never really relied on that stuff, but it was structural. It was like, so we took a song where all of the parts were there, like all of the riff. We didn't, it wasn't one we took to you, showed to you, to be fair. It was an earlier one. Like the riff was there, the chorus hook was there, like the melody didn't change, but it was little things like the drummer went in, he tracked his parts, and then he was like pointing out little things like how the kick drum pattern was working against the vocal line, the rhythm of the vocals. So you'd hear like a sort of you might hear like the beginning of a lyric on beat 1 and then the 1 E and or whatever, music nerds, wherever you're at, and the beat, there'll be a kick and it just wouldn't. And it's little things like that. I feel like if you're too busy focusing on guitar tones, or like tricks, you lose those things. Exactly.
It's because of the end result is just going to be the bigger picture.
Yeah.
It's like when in art, when you're painting, let's say a realistic portrait. I think my mom used to tell me, because she was an artist too, and she's like, you can't focus on the small detail. You always have to look at it from a distance. And it's the same thing. It's what I did, like you're saying. I kind of stepped away from gear and tried to focus on.
So you aren't on something right now, stepping away from gear? Or... Sorry, that was just a really bad joke. Gear, as in drugs. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just had to. Go on.
I stepped away from gear because I wanted to just make sure the music is there first, the substance. And then I realized that stepping away from gear so much, I can't dial in a guitar tone anymore that's in a fast manner, bro. Like it takes me a while to be like, this sounds good. I don't know what sounds good anymore. Like I'm going through it.
I know how you feel. Yeah.
Yeah. So there has to be a balance. Like, okay, know your gear, but at the same time, don't forget the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Because that's the end result. People are not going to be like, this guitar tone sucks, especially if the song is catchy, bro. If it's good music.
Yeah. I think weirdly, I don't. This is a very strange analogy. But I always did you play like Call of Duty, those like games where you'd make like a class, you'd make your little, you choose all your like loadout of what you're going to have in the game. And I always sucked at that. Like I wasn't that bad at the game, but I'd always just have this like character who was just useless because I was never any good at that. And I feel like I'm just like that with tone now. It's a very weird analogy. It's a very obscure one. But
dude, no, I get that a lot. It's kind of like, it stems from laziness kind of, and the fear of not knowing what to use. Like, because I don't know if I should use a boost for my lead tone. If without a boost it sounds good, I'm like, okay, but like I have someone who told me, oh, the amp I'm using, I think it was Trey Xavier from Gear Gods. He said, yeah, you have to use a boost with this amp, the Rev G20.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, bro, I can't dial in a good rhythm tone. Like, what the hell's happening? And he said, oh, yeah, you have to just boost the amp, which was something like when I had a big amp before, I had a 5150, I used a boost. but it's just like I don't want to go through that anymore, and I don't even know what we're talking about. We were, what was? Why did I start saying this?
Oh, I thought you were saying that to him.
No, I literally forgot why I was saying.
It was about. Well, I started talking about Call of Duty. To be fair, so I don't think I've helped you really.
Right. Yeah. I feel
it was
the
something
same
about
way
like
about Call of Duty.
What's your KD ratio or something like that? I think that's what we were. I don't know.
I bet your KD is like 0.75. You
that's
look like
that's that's if you said like 0.2, I'd know you were joking. But the fact you said 0.75 implies you think I'm actually probably not that good at it. I was a solid like 1.8 for a while, which I think is pretty good. Like
that's decent,
yeah. Especially
because there are a lot of kids who can beat you at the game.
Yeah. It was full on like, you know, other aspects of life were just starting to suffer for that KD ratio. Like, so you know that was now it's just guitar. Other aspects of life suffer for music, but you know, hey, it's more wholesome.
Yeah, it's more worth it, I think.
Yeah. Is he? Did you kind of? I know, kind of going back to the whole starting out on YouTube thing. Was it when you started it? Did you start it with like a career in mind, or was it literally just something that you thought like, this is fun, this is something that I haven't seen yet, so I'm going to do it? You know.
It was kind of both, but I was hoping it would evolve into a career because I gave myself like 6 months. I was like, okay, I need to get monetized in 6 months, you know?
It's a good goal.
Yeah, and it did happen, actually. It happened at 6 or 7 months. And I was like, okay, shit, let me keep going. And it kind of worked. You have to look at it as a business where it's a time invested and you're going to have a return on your investment at some point. If you look at it as a hobby, there's a lot of channels out there that are hobbies, and you can tell they're hobbies because there is no grind mindset. I hate that word, the grind mindset. But I did make 3 videos a week for 6 months, which is it a good approach? I don't know. But that's my approach, and it worked. But it didn't like blow up in 6 months, you know?
Yeah. I think a lot of people have that kind of forget that. I mean, I'm guilty as well, but like I think it's so easy to forget. You know, if you say I'm going to do 3 videos a week and you do it for 1 week and nothing happens, and you're like, oh, well, it didn't work then.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, well, no, it didn't not work. You know, like we've you know, we put a lot of time and effort and money into producing 6 songs for an EP, and it's not, you know, it's done like it's done better than most like bands do when they first put an EP out, I guess, compared in the grand scheme of things. But like, if we were to just stop now, it would be like, well, because we put all that time and money and effort and mental sort of energy into it. Oh yeah, it hasn't worked in a year, so I guess that doesn't work then. And it's just, that sounds kind of ridiculous when you look at it like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, what you kind of like? Do you have any grand plans for your for the channel, like a view for where you see, you know, like is the 1 million subscriber thing? Is that like the?
I really want to make more bigger scheme projects. Like I want to make more film approaches.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to call it web series. I don't know if you want to call it like a short film, but there is something that is like at the back of my head. I'm like, I want to make this, you know, because there are not a lot of short films. Filmmaking and music, guitar, YouTube isn't really together, you know?
Mm. Well, when you say short film, like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it if you don't want to if you want to keep it to yourself.
There's nothing to spoil. It's just an idea.
Spoiling the film before you've even had the idea for the film, that's pretty...
He dies, bro. Just don't watch it. He gets shot.
Dude, it's an 8-minute movie. How does that happen?
Well, he gets shot in the beginning, and then we know what happened.
Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Wicked.
Yeah.
You plan that out?
The movie starts.
The guitar's there somewhere.
Yeah, well, he just goes to Guitar Center, buys a Squire or some shit.
What? How? Okay. What was the where does Guitar Center is it like a top tier really cool shop, or is it like, because we have like, so we have in the UK, obviously much smaller place, we have like this place called Guitar, very imaginative name. So good they named it twice. Yeah, it is really good though. There's Andertons, I'm sure you would have heard of them. And there's a couple others that are like sort of well known, but yeah, is Guitar Center, is that like a highly rated establishment, or?
I wouldn't say highly rated establishment, especially because it's mostly hated. It's not rated.
Right. Okay.
Just because man, Sweetwater is like way better if you want to order something. If you want to order a guitar, just they have better payment plans, and it's just you don't need that kind of service anymore, especially from like a big box store like I don't know if you call them big box, Guitar Center.
Yeah.
There are smaller like vintage stores and stuff, or like private owned ones that I would go to. If I want to order, sorry, what?
No, go on. I was just interrupting, Karen.
Oh no, it's just if I want to order something, I'll just get it online, unless I'm getting it used from someone locally, which is what I mostly do.
I do kind of think it's kind of like, it's a bit like buying a car. It's like, as long as it works, I don't see the point in buying it new anymore, unless it's something I really want, like a specific custom thing that I just would spend my whole life waiting for used. I don't really see the point. Like, you might as well, I was going to say you might as well give back to the community. That's not why I do it. I do it because it's cheaper.
What community? Who are you giving? What are you giving them?
So you're in LA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is Norman's Rare Guitars, is that near you?
It's like down the street.
Have you been much?
I haven't been any amount yet.
Oh, that looks like it looks like such a monument for me, as someone who's not, I guess because it's so it's so far away financially and literally, that I guess it seems like quite a cool place to go. But is it somewhere, do you think you'll visit at some point?
Yeah, if I'm going with like a friend or something, I wouldn't go alone just to look at guitars, because guitars are cool, man, but like it doesn't mean anything to me emotionally to go look at equipment. It's not what I'm interested in my musical journey, Yeah. I don't remember the last time I went and looked at guitars and I was like, I wish I could buy this. Like, I couldn't care less. I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm the smartest philosopher in the world, bro. I figured out. But that's just how it is, man. Like,
Yeah, I think I know.
Do you still want to like buy a guitar every time you see one?
Yeah. Quite a lot of the time.
You failed, bro.
Yeah, I know. I've probably I've got, well, you can only see one on the wall over there at the moment. There's a few more kind of to the side of it. But although saying, okay, well, that said, hang on, I'll show you this. Anyone who's just listening that won't have a clue what this is, but I'm going to show you my guitar. But I don't know how well you'll see it, but I think I might be the worst PRS owner in the world, because I've like dropped this so many times, and just it's an American Custom 24. It's like it's the nice one. But PRS owners are a bit like funny about that. I dropped it on a ramekin. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it's right in the front of my face. Can you see it on there? The big dirty scuff on the front, and there's just,
yes, I could see it.
There is.
That's all I can see.
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't even see it. But I think I are you particularly careful about your instruments, or is it because you've got I've seen you've got keys, all right? That's quite a quite a fancy. Oh, you only just noticed all the guitars to your right. Oh, wicked.
Yeah, I have a couple Kiesels, but it's not like I don't treat them like gods, but I take care of them. I wanted to ask, how do you like that PRS? Like, how do they play? They look to me like they would play very clunky.
It's yeah. I mean, it doesn't. It's awesome. I was really irresponsible in buying it, because I went to Guitar, and my mate was like, he wanted to try out the Boss Katana, the little I think the 50 watt or something. It's about £200 or like $300, something like that. And I was like, oh, I'll just go and play some guitars, because I'm not going to buy this amp, so I'm just going to mess around with some stuff. and I saw it on the wall, and it was already pretty beaten up. It was just shy of £2,000, which but like new it's about 3.5, and so I was like, okay, this is quite cheap, and for what it is, because it's the full American, like custom shop, and I picked it up, and the action was so low, but it just sustained forever, and it played so well, and I remember looking at it and then sort of looking at my bank account like, oh no. And yeah, it's honestly, I'm yet to play a guitar. I think it's because I've done so much of my development on that guitar that it feels like home. So like someone else might find it clunky. I don't think it's clunky. It's ridiculous. Like the action's so low. I've got a cheaper model that is not quite. It's still really good, but it's not quite as. I can see why some of them are clunkier in some ways. Sorry, PRS. Okay. Only some. Like the ones I've always found clunky are Ibanez. I don't know why.
They're kind of sleek, I would say. Not sleek, maybe.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. There's something about the. I don't know if it's how they get set up out of the factory. Sometimes I just start playing them and I just don't feel. And like, it might be because I'm so used to my PRS and they're just maybe polar opposites that,
I don't really like judge them by how they're set up from the factory, but just like the overall feel. But I haven't touched a PRS in my life. I've barely tried like 4 different guitar brands, so I'm not really a guy to talk about guitars. But yeah, PRS, like they did look clunky to me. But now that you mentioned that some of them can be, makes me feel good because I was kind of right.
Well, yeah. I mean, like for the mid-range ones. Yeah. Because if you spend more than like £1,000, whatever that is in dollars. Probably like $1,300-$400, something like that. I think once you spend more than that, like it's kind of all the same, and it's just like minus like nice looking birds on that one versus not quite as nice looking birds on the other one. But like for the price, that mid range one is really good actually. It's really solid. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I remember there's 2 guitars I can remember picking up and being like, those are close. Like made me go, oh, maybe I should have got that one, but not quite. One was the Strandberg, and I just don't like how they look, so that was fine. And one was a Friedman guitar. I don't know if you played one of them.
No.
Oh, they are awesome. They're like, the pickups are ridiculous. I don't even know. They're just hot as hell. I don't know what it is, but they're like they sound awesome. Like really, yeah. Sick. That was wicked. But it's got a Floyd Rose, so it just kind of makes you want to.
I'd rather die.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd stop playing guitar if my only option was playing Floyd Rose. I'd just switch to harmonica or some shit.
That's saxophone. Your go-to. What are you otherwise musically inclined from like the guitar? Do you have any other instruments you play?
I don't physically, but I do want to buy a lot of instruments. I do want to branch out and like kind of approach music as a musician, not as a guitarist anymore. I'm kind of sick of being like, oh, okay, let me sweep pick over this chord progression and call it a day. Fuck no, man. There's much more to music than that.
Fuck no. Who needs a chord progression?
Yeah, no chord progressions anymore, man. Yeah. Just sweep pick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see why it's difficult. I think that's the step that some guitarists are starting to make. I know this is becoming quite guitar centric, but I think a lot of people that listen will probably be guitarists. But I can see why. Like, the guitar does lend itself to like guitar sounds, Whereas I don't feel like perhaps the piano. Maybe I'm wrong, or like anything that you would dial in on, say, a MIDI keyboard that you would then, synth instruments and stuff. I feel like that's more of a blank canvas. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it's when you do use like MIDI sounds and stuff, it's also such a different sound. Like if you play an A minor chord on the guitar and then play it with different voicings on like a MIDI keyboard, you can really tell that you're restricted by your muscle memory kind of on the guitar. Because I can sit there and force different voicings, see what an A minor could sound like. But on the keyboard, it comes much more naturally because it's much easier to just play these different voicings. And it's the same for all the other instruments. It's also, you can refer to this as timbre. Is that how you even pronounce it?
Timbre. Well, it depends who you ask, and but I that's how I would say
timbre. I say timbre.
Timbri, that one.
Timbri, mate. so
I was hoping you were gonna do your British. I wasn't gonna test you, but I'm glad you did it.
Yeah, this wasn't really British, but
yeah, what you said,
maybe.
mate, at the end.
Yeah, it was kind of more. Yeah, it could be British. It could be British.
Total? No, sorry, carry on. Because this is. I'm just gonna derail this with my bullshit. So go on, carry on.
Derail it. I'm done with.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say, does anyone say mate? Like in the US, is that a thing? Do people call each other mate?
Absolutely not.
No,
I haven't heard it once.
Oh wow, okay. It seems kind of like because you're mates. You're like, oh no. To be fair, you can use mate in a really threatening way. Listen here, mate. Yeah, you can. It fully has a lot of different. Yeah, it's.
Bro, there's this YouTuber that you remind me of.
Is this gonna be?
I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. Okay, go ahead. I don't know if you can type.
I can do it on my phone.
YouTube. Yeah, just go on the DSLR guide, and the guy literally looks like you, talks like you.
Do you say DSLR guy? Is it like a camera guy?
Yeah, DSLR guide.
Okay.
He's like one of the
guide
older...
or guy?
Guide.
DSLR guide.
Yeah.
just see a picture. See what he looks like.
And he looks exactly like
That's
you.
That's not good. I've got to listen to him now.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Just listen to yourself.
I always get Daniel Radcliffe. That's what I always get.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, dude. Leave me alone. I get it. Huh?
Hagrid.
Okay, for perspective, for how universal this was, we did a tour in Ukraine of all places, and we haven't even done a UK tour yet. For perspective, we just got offered it. And we're like, yeah, that sounds cool. So we did it, and we were in a gig in the middle of like a town that I can't pronounce in the middle of Ukraine, and some guy just shouted Daniel Radcliffe across the road. I was like,
just say yes, man. Just get some autographs and get paid,
Daniel Radcliffe's new metal band on its small tour.
Just blow your nose, sell the tissue. Bro, you gotta capitalize on this stuff.
I can tell you've been running a when you said you gotta look at it like a business. It's Rudy Tissues.
You gotta look at everything
as
a return on investment opportunity, bro.
I thought you said return on investment. I was like, I really hope that's nothing to do with these tissues. Right, I've got to listen to DSLR guy. Hang on.
Yeah, just do it later if you want.
Oh no! Wow. Okay, I get it. Yeah, fine.
He takes more. He kind of talks like he's tired. He's like, kind of breathes a lot.
It's what being in the UK does to you. I think. It's
yeah.
There's something about this is somewhat going back to my actual list of topics and questions. I've currently got DSLR going on my phone now. I was going to say like life because I've never been I've been to close I've been to the US would be I went on a ski trip to Quebec once. That's about as close as I've been. So yeah,
Quebec.
but I was going to say like LA seems like such a cool place from like to most Brits, obviously like the US seems like a really cool place to go because it's just like a whole other culture, but obviously the language is the same and there's a lot of shared stuff. So I think you think, oh well, it's almost like an alternate, to me it's like an alternate reality. It's like the same, I can speak it, the language, but it's a whole other culture. Do you think life in LA is like as kind of cool as it might seem over here?
Life seems cool in the UK to who?
No, me. No, I think life in LA seems like a pretty sweet place to be.
LA?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, if you think of it as like the hub for all the social media / celebrity / film / music industry where people connect and stuff, yes. Like I can drive maybe 10 minutes in any direction and I would have someone I know from YouTube who lives there,
Wow, okay.
It's pretty cool, but at the same time, man, like there's so much traffic. The homeless situation is crazy, rent is crazy.
Heard,
yeah, it's like if you think about that stuff, it's overwhelming, but like if I walk 5 minutes this way, I have dispensaries. Like you have access to so many dispensaries here.
Wait, what is it? What is a dispensary?
You just go and buy a weed. They sell.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like, what? Am I an idiot? Is this just like a convenience store? Or?
Dispensary. So you've never heard that word before?
No. Well, I mean, I have, but like, not in the, not in that sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Wicked. I did. Yeah. That sounds pretty sweet. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you wanna move here, like when I moved here, I was ready to like work my ass off just to be able to live here, because I'm like, this is the best place on earth. I gotta be here, which I kind of still think the same, because when NAMM happens, that's literally like a 30-minute drive for me.
That's
instead
awesome.
of flying in. But these are just like situational stuff that would save you money if you live here. But at the same time, you're living here, you're spending a lot of money just to be here. But is giving you a return on investment? You kind of have to think about that, what am I getting out of living here? Especially at the moment during the pandemic,
Yeah.
That's up to you to decide.
How was life as a YouTuber been throughout the pandemic? I know that's such a question people are probably fed up of, or how is life for X person in the pandemic? But I'm interested.
Maybe less money through ads, because I feel companies sometimes, it's been up and down with how much companies are spending on advertising, and we all get affected. Because I do ask some people, and I'm like, hey, like, is your AdSense revenue just like way lower? They're like, yeah, it's like shit. Also, maybe, I don't know, maybe we suffer with impressions. Like our videos don't get recommended as much, but I don't know why that would be, since more people are home to watch.
I was going to say, I would have assumed the complete opposite, to be honest.
Yeah, it's confusing, man. I don't know, but it's all the same. Like, I'm going to make content, whatever I think is funny. I'm just going to make it and post it, and that's it.
It's the way to be. Yeah, no, I think,
man. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because my assumption was that especially when you look at Netflix, if you'd invested in Zoom or Netflix in in that like short period of time just before the pandemic hit, you'd be pretty well off. And I assumed that being a YouTuber, your view, things like views and just general, I assumed that would have improved, sort of skyrocketed things, for everyone.
Yeah, same, yeah.
Was that like difficult to deal with? Did you expect that? Were you expecting a kind of people are gonna check in, and then it didn't kind of happen, or?
Yeah, exactly. It was just stayed the same, and then slowly started getting worse. I was like, what's happening,
Yeah.
But like, what about you guys? Like, you guys tour and stuff. Did that affect you? You stopped, like, did you kind of like step back and took a break from trying to play shows and stuff?
Yeah, well, we had to. Yeah, like, legally we had to. Like we did. We've been quite lucky with how it's panned out. Like, for example, we played. Do you know Bloodstock Festival? Do you know that's it's kind of it's like sort of Download Festival. Download Festival here, the metal festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like the metal fest. It's like sort of second. It's like Download's kind of little brother festival. So we played that, but I think I got COVID about 2.5 weeks before the festival. So that's like I was cutting it close. And then we were quite lucky in that like we played a few gigs that were shortly prior to like lockdowns and stuff. So we weren't perhaps as badly affected. We managed to get to the studio. Like the music you heard, we did sort of when we were sort of permitted to, in the sort of, there were lots of halfway kind of lockdown periods where like you could do stuff, but you couldn't like go to a nightclub.
Not really.
Yeah. And so that's kind of when we got stuff done. I did find it difficult to be creative. I don't know about you in terms of coming out with content, because one thing I was going to ask regardless of COVID is, do you find it difficult to keep up with content on knowing that you've got to put content out to keep this going? Is that a difficult thing to work with?
Ideas wise, I think I have a good like direction where like, okay, I might do this, I might do that. So ideas are like, yeah, they come in and out. They're always going to be there. But it's just a process that might get tiring. Like, I'm shooting this video and like I have to edit the video and post it, which, might seem like heaven to some people, but sometimes like, doing something, I've been doing it since 2018, which is not a long time compared to other YouTubers, but you kind of start getting in your head like, why am I doing this, bro? I'm like, I'm just doing these like stupid skits in my room, but like, why don't I do something more useful? But then I end up posting this, it gets 1 million views, and I'm like, okay, hold up. Or it doesn't,
Yeah. Like, what is it out of interest? What's your most viewed video?
I think it's jazz guitarist versus rock guitarist.
That makes sense.
It has like 3 point something million.
That's quite something.
Yeah, it's cool.
If we had that many plays on our music, I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah,
I might get like £10 on Spotify. That'd be awesome.
You wouldn't get more, I don't think, for 3 million.
Yeah, I know.
That's being generous, bro.
I did look it up. You can genuinely. I think on Spotify, a million. I think a million plays is like a few. Like it's like a 4-figure.
Yeah.
It's like a 4-figure amount, but like a low 4-figure amount. And you think a million? Granted, if I put out one song, no one would buy 1 million copies of it. If I sold them as CDs like 40 years ago. But still, like, there's got to be a middle ground where, and it's the same way, to be fair, I guess, well, because you obviously rely on is AdSense, did you say? Is that you rely on that. And if a while back, I guess it's a lot of people look at this as music, but if you were to put out some content and 3 and a bit million people watched that, and however many 100,000, however many million watched all your other videos, in some other format that didn't rely on advertising, if the sort of size of that would be huge. Like, it's crazy how kind of I don't really know where I'm going with this, to be honest. I want more money.
Yeah, kind of got lost, but yeah.
Yeah, no, I just think it's a bit. I feel like it's like, yes, the opportunity is great because you can obviously present your stuff to the whole world for almost nothing. But then you also get almost nothing back, and I do feel like I feel like there should be a little more back from what you're doing, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, one other thing. I won't keep you for too long, but I saw you do a lot of like biking and stuff, right? Like mountain biking. What is it that kind of have you been doing that long? Like, what kind of drew you into that?
I started like a year ago.
Oh, cool.
Exactly, almost. Why did I start? I don't know. I was talking with a friend, and I'm like, you know what, bro? I like hiking. I like mountains, and I like biking, but I don't like biking in the city. Why don't I just bike in the mountains?
This makes sense.
And that just started. Yeah, started a channel too. So, I wanted to just document my progression, and it just became one of my favorite things to do, just to record trails and stuff.
Do you find it like a good? It's a bit cliche, but like escape from the sort
reality,
of reality. Yeah. Escape from the monotony of real life.
Yeah, man. Away from the hustle and bustle of the city,
Are we doing a bit now?
No. That would cost you way more, bro, to do a live bit, bro.
You can clip it.
No. It's a joke.
Is this one of the ones that wouldn't make it? I hope this is.
I'm asking you. You're the one who's editing this, no?
Oh, okay. No, not the podcast. I mean the joke to your channel.
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
Cool.
It has to. In order for a joke to make it, it has to have a lot of things. A lot of aspects to it, a lot of layers, which I'm not going to get into now because that's kind of like the secret sauce.
Okay.
And then people are going to hear me and they're like, okay, he's clearly does not have comedy figured out. if these jokes that he's posting have the secret sauce.
Okay, yeah, well, that's a good note to kind of conclude on, something to do with secret sauce, and I'd love to conclude on something profound, but c'est la vie.
Like,
could you give me? Go on.
Do you speak French?
I actually do badly.
Nice. Do you? Yeah, I was taught in school.
Oh well, yeah, the same. Well, yeah, that's kind of where I did it for A level, which is like up to the age of 18. So I think I'm better than most. I think if you drop me in France for like a few weeks, I'd be okay. But
yeah,
like, that's about it.
Yeah. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, to finish up, can you say something with your fine British accent, please?
I kind of have to be like in it, but
I'll be in the moment. You can't just like turn it on.
Well, I can, but it just has to be like stemming from where it has to stem. If I just try to like do it, it might not be good. I don't know.
Do you base it? Is it off of a particular like?
I kind of imagine what you sound like, so that's what I go for most of the time.
So I've got a very like stereotypical. There is this thing that there is a joke over here that is like, what Americans think of Brits versus what Brits think of Brits, and it's like, I think this is not me trying to big myself up too much. I imagine my voice is a little closer maybe to what the Americans think of Brits, but some of the would make you laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, anyway, on that fantastic note, thank you for spending your hard-earned time listening to me and talk about all sorts of nonsense. But I've enjoyed it, so thank you.
Bro.
Is there anything you want to? I guess the main thing to plug would be the YouTube channel. But
well, it's not about plugging it. It's just I released a guitar course for all you beginners out there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. That's the plug. Fretboard exploration.
Nice. Cool. Sweet. I thought you were going to sort of roast me there and say if I wanted it, like.
You need it. I heard your music. You could use it.
What? I suppose it wasn't out. I suppose it wasn't out by then. Oh, you could have. Oh well. I could have been a bit.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, maybe. Did you guys submit music for like this month? I don't think so.
No, we did.
Because I think, yeah,
we did. We haven't really got any new things out at the moment. So we'll be in touch.
Because the same people have been like submitting stuff, and I'm kind of bored of like listening to the same shit.
I'll try and we are doing some new stuff. There's but yeah, before we go, there's one little there's a little competition we just been sort of nominated, like we're in the stages of now. They picked us to be in part of a very small group in the competition where we might get to play Download Festival and get a small record deal for an EP, which is cool. So
that's sick.
Yeah, roast the shit out of that. Try me.
Yeah, bro, I'll absolutely take a steaming dump on it if that's what you want.
Nice. I would love that. Cool. Sick. Right, I will leave you to it. Thank you for coming along.
All right, man. Thank you. Yeah, this was fun.
Wicked. Thank you.